This is Bangarang Radio, a podcast network. For more shows, visit bangarangradio.com.
I'm going out, I gotta go. I'll bangarang on the radio. So turn it up, I'm telling you. I think I'm ready for something new. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. You're listening to Pop Punk and Pizza on Bangarang Radio.
All right, welcome to Pop Punk and Pizza here on bangarangradio.com. I am Jacques Lamour, your host. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to episode 9, and I'm pretty psyched about this episode. Our special guest is all the way from New Jersey, and I haven't talked to anyone from New Jersey in a while, so let me introduce, and let's see if I have my applause sound effect here before I even say his name. There it goes. Okay, so we're going to give him a nice round of applause. Gary, is it Mastriano? I already forgot.
Yeah, you got it right.
Mastriano,
Thanks
yes.
for the applause.
All right, no problem, man. So Gary Mastriano, he is the saxophone player for Backyard Superheroes. Correct?
Yeah, that is right. That
Okay.
is right. Do I have a Jersey accent, by the way? You said you haven't spoken with anybody.
No,
Jersey,
I was going to say.
Jersey?
No, I don't hear the Joyzy there. I was actually going to comment on that before we started podcasting, because Gary and I were talking a little bit before we actually started recording, and yeah, I was like, he sounds, like he's got a normal American accent. Of course, not a Jersey accent. I'm not saying it's not normal, but, But yeah, I don't hear the...
You're alienating all of my Jersey followers.
Well, you know what I love about East Coasters, mainly if they're from, well, I guess maybe even from Jersey, mainly if they're from, like, Boston, I love when they say Florida, because it's Florida.
Oh, now you got me thinking about it. How do I pronounce that?
Yeah, say
Florida.
Yeah. Well,
all right. I think I said it right.
I think you said it right. Yeah. I just love how they make it sound so long. It's Florida. It's instead of Florida, it's Florida. It's just, I don't know. I love it. Anyway, well, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Like I was telling you a little bit before, I'm a little sleepy today. We were out late. My fiance and I went to go check out Real Big Fish last night in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. It was my 31st time seeing them, which is far too many. They were great, but it was about a 2-hour drive, so we piled in the car, had a good playlist, had some Wendy's and some candy. It was good.
Hey, man, that's a perfect night right there, a perfect little road trip. And I mean, it's important to bring Real Big Fish up because that's how you and I got connected. A couple episodes ago here on Pop Punk and Pizza, I interviewed Johnny Christmas, the trumpet player from Real Big Fish, and Gary happened to listen to the episode, and he shot me an email and was like, hey, man, I love your show. I want to, if you could play, my band Backyard Superheroes and maybe, could be a guest on the show. And I thought, oh, that'd be awesome, because the minute I checked you guys out, I'm like, yes, this is right up my alley. Because, besides being a pop punk addict, I'm a ska addict too, so yeah, I was really glad that you reached out.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Real Big Fish is probably my favorite band. Tied with my favorite band was Kiss, so that's two very eclectic favorite bands. But I've been to Real Big Fish for maybe 15 years or so, and seen about, like I said, 31 times, and it's always fun. They're a great time. They put on a great show. I agree. Every time I've seen them, it's never a dull moment, and they always have some new gimmicks and jokes and things like that to pull out. So, but yeah, before we get in deep with Gary and talk about Backyard Superheroes, we're going to get into our pop punk news here.
News team, assemble!
It's this week's Pop, Punk, and Pizza News.
All right, so these are just some things that have been happening in the genre this past week. Now, in a recent interview with UK's Radio X, Travis Barker confirmed that Blink-182 is going to be returning to the studio sometime in the next few weeks to begin recording new material. Are you a Blink fan, Gary?
Oh, I'm going to sound like a jaded old man. I am a Blink-182 fan.
Okay.
But I did not dig that last record.
No. Oh, you are sounding like a jaded old man.
I know.
Now, is it because of Tom?
Partly, I got Enema of the State when it first came out. That was like, oh, this is my Blink-182, they're great. And I was on board with their change in sound a little bit, but I just didn't think the songs were that strong on, what was it, California? I really didn't.
Yes.
There was a few that I really liked, but I just didn't think they were strong songs. It had nothing to do with who's in the band.
Gotcha. I think I loved it, and I think it was the best that they could do with what they had at the time. In my opinion, a perfect blend of the Alkaline Trio, Blink-182 sound. But everyone's got their own opinion. I know some people, they thought the songs were like, this sounds like someone very young wrote this and not a bunch of middle-aged guys, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But regardless, I liked pretty much every track on the album, so I was definitely spinning it when it came out. But this new music they're going to be putting out, I was really excited when I first read this because I thought, wow, they're going to put out another new record soon. But it's actually, they're just going back into the studio to do a deluxe version of California, so they're just including a couple songs there that nobody's heard. So I was kind of disappointed,
That's okay. Maybe they'll come up with some B-sides. Sometimes you have some good hidden little tracks there. So
that's true. Maybe there'll be something like really more edgy or sounding a little more punk rock.
You know what's a killer Blink-182 song that gets forgotten about was that song, Man Overboard from like the live album.
Oh,
video cut.
Yeah.
That's a killer like kind of B-side track.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people, and obviously, a band. Some people liked it so much they named it. That was the name of their band.
Oh yeah.
Are they even? Is Man Overboard still around?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never kept track of that band. I was never like a huge fan of Man Overboard, but when they came out, I'm like, I wonder if they named their band after that song. I think they did, but I'm gonna have to double check on that. Some people are listening to this right now and are like, no, they didn't name it after the Blink song. But
What if that was a weird subculture of bands that just named all their band, like it just all got their names from Blink-182 songs? Like, hi, we're Dumpweed. Hi, we're Damn It.
Hi, we're yeah.
What's my age again?
That would be hilarious. That'd be really cool. I know there's a band called Famous Last Words that I had the pleasure of interviewing not too long ago, back in September, and for the longest time, I thought their band name came from from My Chemical Romance, because they have a song called Famous Last Words from their Black Parade record, and come to find out, it doesn't come from My Chemical Romance at all. So you never know. But regardless, I mean, we're gonna get some new Blink-182 music, a couple tracks, and they did obviously announce, as I said this on an earlier show, they just announced their UK summer tour, and tickets are now on sale for that. So they just went on sale November 11th, which was just yesterday. We're recording this so it was Saturday the 12th, yeah, just a day after Veterans Day. On to the next. Real Friends postponed. Speaking of the UK, they postponed their UK European tour due to frontman Dan Lambton's mental health. He posted a very long statement on Facebook, and it was, in my opinion, very, very brave of him to do, saying his mental health, he's struggling with anxiety, stating, "I need to be present, sharp, focused, and at this point I feel that as great as this tour could be, it would have an extreme emotional and mental toll on my well-being." And of course, that's something I feel like that's always hard in bands, Gary, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It sometimes can be hard to put yourself first before the band.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, bands are so time consuming, no matter what level the band is at or where you're at in your career, but it's just super time consuming always, and you're always thinking about, oh, what can I do, or what is a good song, what's a good idea. So sometimes you got to be like, well, I also have a job, or I also have commitments and stuff that you also got to stick to.
Yeah, and when you're battling some kind of illness, whether it's a mental illness or not, it's something you got to take care of. So they're going to be finishing out this current U.S. tour with the Wonder Years and Knuckle Puck and Moose Blood and Seaway, and then the dates are going to be rescheduled for the UK European tour in early 2017. And the show, they're going to be doing a special show in Chicago in January with Knuckle Puck and a bunch of awesome Chicago area bands too at Concord Music Hall. As far as I know, that show is still on. I know some people were kind of asking about that. But I think, if if you read his whole statement, and if you haven't, you should go see there's a link on the bangarangradio.com website to the full AP article and also Dan's statement is in that article too, or you can check it out on the Real Friends Facebook page as well. But I think it was very bold of him to admit that, because that's something that's very hard to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially in a public forum like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And I actually know Dan. It's been years ago now, but the band I was in, we played shows with other bands that he was in for years, and he was always such a cool guy. My heart definitely goes out to him, and I just hope he's able to get the help that he needs and feels better. So, are you a Real Friends guy?
Not really familiar with them.
Gotcha. I mean, it's
I have some real friends.
Yeah, I mean, Real Friends is one of the pioneers of the new wave of pop punk, and them being from Chicago, I've played with the majority of those guys in other bands. Like my band would play shows with one of their other bands and stuff like that. So I definitely have to keep everyone updated on what's going on with them. But yeah, I just want to wish Dan Lambton and Real Friends the best right now, and they do want to assure everyone that they're not breaking up and nobody is fighting and nobody is mad at each other. He just needs some time off with family and friends and get himself taken care of. We all need that once in a while. So yeah, go to bangarangradio.com to find that link and read his full statement. It's pretty long. And the last thing I'll talk about today is Will from Cartel is now a part of a website called Downright, and it's a unique site where you can commission your favorite artist to write and record personalized songs for you, which I thought was pretty cool. You can check out downright.com and have Will write and or record a song for you. Some other artists involved with Downright are like J.T. Woodruff of Hawthorne Heights. You got Mark Rose of Spitalfield, and there's a huge list. And there's actually even smaller artists that are friends of mine that are even on that website. Have you heard of anything like that before?
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought so. It's not terribly expensive, too. I was just curious, so I looked up JT from Hawthorne Heights to see what he would charge, and it's like $100 if you wanted like just one instrument and one vocal. And I thought that's not bad.
Yeah, maybe like Paul McCartney can get on there and can write me a song.
Or I was thinking I didn't see any ska artists on there, so I'm thinking maybe like Backyard Superheroes could get on there, and you could write a ska song for your sweetheart. Yeah, it's when you go to this website, by the way, you can pick like what the special event is, if it's a birthday or an anniversary or things like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm getting married next year. Maybe I'll commission Paul McCartney to write my wedding song.
I was gonna say you're gonna be getting married. Congratulations, by the way. When did you get engaged?
Just this year on Friday 13th.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations, man. That is fantastic.
Thank you. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I bet. So, do you guys have a date picked out and everything?
We do, yeah. Next September 22nd. And everybody who listens to your podcast is invited to the wedding, of course.
Hey, I'd love to come out. I like Jersey. I didn't get a chance to spend too much time in Jersey when I've been out to the East Coast before. I did a couple tours out on the East Coast, and we never had a show in Jersey, we'd always just pretty much drive through.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I remember we stopped at a gas station, and obviously we couldn't pump our own gas, and that was interesting. So,
see, that's like people in Jersey love that. That's a luxury. I don't got to get out of the car. It's awesome.
It's pretty old school, which I think I think it's cool. It was just a weird thing, because you're from the Midwest, and we don't do that, here in the Chicagoland area or really any other state. And well, I guess that's pretty much the most country, not just the Midwest. But anyway, so yeah, that was cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have in connection with Jersey. But yeah, once again, congratulations, man. And but yeah, that's pretty much just some things happening in the pop punk world this last week. But let's get down to the nitty gritty here with Gary Mastriano of Backyard Superheroes. They're a ska band from Jersey, as we've been saying. Now, in my opinion, it seems like most ska bands, they're either from the East Coast or they're from the West Coast. There's not too much in between. Really, the only ska band, well, I actually no. Maybe now that I'm thinking about more ska bands that are from the Midwest now besides Mustard Plug, but there's really not too many. How many prominent ska bands are from the Midwest besides Mustard Plug? You probably know more than me.
Prominent. I can't think of any real big names. Your ska hubs are usually New York, Boston, Florida, California.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You can always tell the difference between the two.
Yeah, it's like Biggie and Tupac, West Coast and East Coast ska.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you think about it. So how did Backyard Superheroes get started, man? Give me the backstory, the history.
Oh, sure. So I know that I was not originally in the band. They had kind of formed from another East Coast ska band. Ska bands out here in New Jersey are like, back at least a few years ago, there was 1,000 of them. And now there's kind of like us and Streetlight Manifesto. Those are the bands from New Jersey.
Really?
But, yeah, it's not, there's a great music scene in Jersey, but just not a ton of ska bands that are out here doing it. There's a lot more. We got a lot of cool folk bands, a lot of reggae bands, but ska and ska punk is not as prevalent as it used to be. But a few years ago, we formed about 4 years ago, I think. Yeah. Some guys from another band called the Unbearable Slackers, who they want to branch off and do another thing. That would be our singer Josh and bass player Greg, who were in that other band. They kind of branched off. We're like, let's start our own little thing. They started writing kind of a pop punk project, and like, oh, let's add some horns. So, same time, I was out looking for a band, looking for a new, actually to buy a new saxophone, and I was on Craigslist looking for that, and I saw, hey, we're looking for a saxophone player. So I joined up with them. That was about spring, I think it was 2012. Yeah, spring 2012, and added a bunch more horn players, and then started gigging, and that was it. The rest is history. That's
awesome, man. Now, when did you start playing sax?
So I started playing sax in high school, and I was always a guitar player, but my school was like prevalent with really good guitar players.
Okay.
So I had a love of ska music, and I'm like, well, all these other people are really good at guitar, and I'm not as good at guitar, so
yeah,
let me try something else. And I just picked up sax in middle school, beginning of high school, and just really took to it, and played all throughout high school. I played in a ska band all through high school, typical high school ska band, and then played in a couple bands outside of high school, went to college to play music, played sax in college, and then got wrapped up in work and a lot of other things and kind of stopped cold turkey and didn't play for maybe 4 years. I didn't even touch my saxophone until I joined Backyard Superheroes.
Oh, wow. Okay. What kind of sax do you play? Because there's obviously, many different types, or there's a couple that I can think of.
Yeah. So I was always an alto player in high school and college and everything. And once I joined Backyard, they're like, oh, you want to play tenor? I'm like, yeah, okay. I never played tenor before. So I got a tenor sax, and then for a while I was doing tenor and alto. Then I just kind of switched over to tenor permanently, but alto is still my first love.
Oh, yeah.
My saxophone's, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Yeah, my saxophone is pretty rad. So it is 101 years old.
Whoa.
It's a 1915 saxophone.
Whoa.
The reason I play it, yeah. The reason I play it is not only is it cheap, but it's really, really lightweight. So I don't really know the construction of it, but I know it's a lighter metal than the normal current saxophones are. So it adds me, gives me a lot of opportunity to jump around or throw it in the air or do anything I want to do with it because it's durable, lightweight, and it's not super heavy, which is awesome.
That's pretty cool. Now a tenor is just a little bit bigger than an alto, right? Do I have that correct?
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to remember.
Tenors you go to like rock and roll saxophone.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to my high school band days because I played trumpet, and I've actually been thinking about picking that up again. In fact, my niece was just down here in the Bangarang studio, and she just started learning piano, and she's like, Uncle Jake, can we get a band together? And and I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool if I started playing trumpet again, and trumpet and piano, they go together, do something kind of jazzy or something like that. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I thought tenor was just like the next kind of step up from alto. As far as though, I'm curious now I think about it. As far as like the music goes and the notes and things like that, is there a huge difference as far as like if you're reading music? Is it, I guess how it's put on the staff? Is it quite different from an alto?
No, it's just in a different key.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's what it's kind of like a trombone. They have the is it a double valve trombone? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Is it similar to that kind of thing, to where it's in a different key, or?
Yeah. So most horn instruments, a lot of them are in different keys. So like an alto saxophone's in E flat, which is a horrible key to play in, but a tenor is in like B flat, which is the same as a trumpet. So it's the notes lay out on the staff the same way. They're just in a different key.
Okay, gotcha. We probably just lost a bunch of people talking about that.
I know.
I was just curious.
Music nerdery.
Yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, I was just trying to think back to the junior high and high school band days. So you guys have a huge show coming up this Saturday, and I wish I could be there in person because, I mean, it's like one big ska festival in one day, and you have so many awesome ska bands playing besides Backyard Heroes, and I saw that the show just sold out this past week, right?
Yeah. So we're playing Skanksgiving, which is a yearly show they put on at the Starland Ballroom out here in New Jersey, which is a great music venue. If anyone's in Jersey, go check out a show there. The capacity of about, I think, 2,500 to 3,000 people. So
oh, wow.
Tells you that ska's still pretty popular out here. There's definitely a need for it, so we're benefiting from that. But we've played it every year that they've done it since we've been a band, and the lineup this year is killer. So you have us, you have another local band from New York called Sweet Lucy, who are excellent. You have the Pomps from Boston. I'm not sure if you've ever heard them. They're just killer.
I don't think so.
A little bit more traditional ska. They're really good.
Okay.
Punk band The Attack from Florida. I don't know if you ever heard them. They're really good too.
Didn't they just sign with Paper and Plastic?
They did. I think actually today, I just saw on Facebook, they released their debut album like today as we're speaking. So
I thought I
might have to go check that out.
Yeah, because I could have swore there was I saw a sponsored post on Facebook by Paper and Plastic, and it said The Attack, their new album or something. And Paper and Plastic is, of course, Vinny from Less Than Jake, the drummer. That's his label. Yeah,
and we're actually name dropping right here. We're good buddies with the guys in Less Than Jake. We played a ton of times with them, and anytime that they roll through, they're like, "Hey, come jump on our gig," and so we're like, "Okay."
Wow.
Actually, Roger mastered our one of our albums, our self-titled album. He mastered it for us. So cool guys. They're headlining the show. They're playing all of Hello Rockview, which is awesome.
Man, that's the record. That's the first Less Than Jake record I bought.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Less Than Jake fan, and so I'm just like drooling over here at the thought that you played with them so many times. And I mean, I did get a chance to meet them about 3 years ago, and yeah, they were really cool, down to earth, just chill, just regular conversation. Didn't get any kind of bad vibes from them at all. I remember they would when we were having a conversation, they would actually pay attention, and they would make eye contact with you. And sometimes when you meet artists that are successful. They come up with a vibe like, yeah, we're not really interested in what you're saying, blah 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 blah. You can just tell from their body language. But you definitely didn't get that at all from Chris, Vinny, Roger, or any of the guys.
Yeah, they're really, really cool dudes. Who else was on that gig? Mustard Plug, you mentioned them earlier.
Yes.
Out Your Way. So
Yep.
It's going to be awesome to play. We played with them before, too. They're really cool guys. And then another band we're pretty close with, Big D and the Kids Table from Boston.
I used to be really into them when I was, oh gosh, that's been a while ago. I was probably 14. And I think that's when they were just starting to get like their big, or get their push. I think it was probably around, I think it was like 2004, somewhere around there. I think that's when they were starting to get their name out there. So do they still play regularly? That's something I haven't checked up on.
Oh, yeah, man. You got to check them out. They still play. They still tour all the time. Still putting out a ton. They're very prolific, put out a lot of music. Great bands. Really, really great. They do a lot of different things. They're not just ska punk anymore. They kind of came up with this their own little genre that I think they call it stroll. Well, it's like a mix of ska, punk, a little bit of gypsy, a little bit of like folky, a little bit of like pop. It's good, man. They do some cool stuff.
Huh, interesting. What's a street light up to these days?
Just keep saying that they're going to retire, and this is our last tour. This is our last tour.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
They do that all the time.
That's why I'm confused on what the heck is happening with them. Because I was like, well, I thought they were breaking up. And then I see other things, and then I see them playing shows here and there, and so I thought maybe you knew what was going on with them.
No, yeah, we're not close with those guys really. I've seen them a bunch of times, of course, in Jersey, but
right.
I saw them a couple years ago, and they said this is our last tour. I'm like, all right, I should probably go check them out.
Right.
And then they said, all right, we're going to play another show. I'm like, all right, I'll go check that out. Then this year they're like, we're going to play some more shows. I'm like, nope, not going to go this time.
Yeah, maybe they're just going to play whenever they can.
And that's cool. Yeah, I know that, a lot of those guys are music. A lot of them are actually music teachers out here in Jersey, so they all have full-time jobs and stuff. So I know it's not necessarily possible for them to tour all the time, which is cool.
Right. Yeah, that's hard it gets to that certain point in your life or even just how you're feeling, and you can get kind of tired of that, of course. I just remember one of the last big things I saw from them, which has been a while ago now, but they were in a battle with Victory Records, and they might still be about. I think it was a royalties issue. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah, and I have my own opinions on that I don't know if I want to share.
Okay. we
don't want to upset anybody.
Yeah, well, we won't go there then if you don't want to do that. I just remember reading that and not being really surprised myself.
Yeah.
I'll give my opinion. I wasn't surprised just because of Victory Records' history with other artists. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had trouble with Hawthorne Heights, and I know you could probably name a couple more bands on top of that. Probably A Day to Remember. Throw them in there too. Anyway, but yeah, we don't have to talk about that. And another big thing besides Skanksgiving that's coming up this Saturday. So if you're in the Jersey area and you are a big ska fan, you should go check out Backyard Heroes along with Less Than Jake. Superheroes. I'm sorry, I keep messing that up. Backyard Superheroes and. Mustard Plug, Less Than Jake, and so many other bands. You guys are going to be releasing an EP that night as well.
Yeah, that's kind of a big tradition we do. We always release kind of at least a song or two for Skanksgiving or anytime we play a big show like that. So we're in the midst of working on and writing a new full-length record, which should be out early next year. But we said, all right, we got some songs written, so we're releasing a brand new single called Tangerine Drive, and then two older tracks from actually our first record, re-record it, kind of redone a little bit as like B-sides to that. So I'm really excited for that. And you can find all that. It's going to be up at backyardsuperheroes.bandcamp, and it's free. Like, all our music is free.
That's awesome. Well, I think I gave you guys some money, so I think I gave you like $5 or something.
Well, much appreciated. And yeah, you can pay if you choose to, and we appreciate that, of course. But we understand. If you can't, we just want to get our music out there. Yeah,
well, everything that I play or any guest I talk to, I always make sure to buy buy their music and support them. So this release is going to be kind of like an EP, B-sides kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just like a single, a single from our new album, which is, like I said, it's coming out early next year. No release date yet, but single from the new album, and then not necessarily B-sides. Two of our most popular songs, we just decided, hey, let's re-record.
Oh, okay.
It's cool because our drummer, Ryan, he runs his own recording studio. It's where we practice and record, called Wild House Studios. He does some excellent work. So I know you listened to Let's Get Dangerous. He recorded that, and you could just hear how good his recording is, and it's the quality. So
yeah,
we had some older songs that we had recorded elsewhere, and we're like, we want them to kind of sound like our current sound. So we went in with Ryan and recorded them, and it sounds really great.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it even more then. And on the last episode of Pop Punk and Pizza, I actually played one of your songs, which I believe was My Fault. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go ahead and play another one from that Let's Get Dangerous EP. Which one would you like me to play right now?
Oh, God, that's a tough question. I absolutely love that album.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if you saw the album artwork. That is a picture. That is a cartoon of me getting eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
I was gonna say I love the cartoonish album artwork.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome.
Cartoon of me, but man, and there's so many. Every track on there is really great. But I'm gonna say today, let's play. Could we do the first two tracks, Let's Get Dangerous into Face It? It's kind of the intro to that song.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. All right, this is Backyard Superheroes here on Pop Punk and Pizza on bangarangradio.com.
All right, when we last left Backyard Superheroes, they had fallen into a vortex of silence and abysmal emotion and distress. Only thing that can get them through is to unveil the secret sound, and the secret sound is like a sky got outside. Let's get dangerous. Let's get dangerous. Let's take care of each other. Respect. Everybody all together now. Backyard Superheroes. Gotta wake up. Snooze the alarm. Only 10 more minutes won't do me no harm. I'm hitting red lights, and I'm gonna be late for my dead-end job with the people I hate. Whatever happened to the people like me working dead-end jobs, ending up in the street until they get by? Man, I don't have a choice, I can't say it any louder cause I'm losing my voice. Face it, gonna spend all my time with a case of cheap beer and a box full of wine. I'm drinking all night just to get through the day. Gotta keep my spirits up or I'm drinking away. You gotta wake up, snooze the alarm. Only 10 more minutes won't do me no harm. I'm hitting red lights and I'm gonna be late for my dead-end job with the people I hate. Moving backwards just to stay on my feet. Maybe this 9 to 5 just wasn't for me. Why spend time doing something I hate when I can stand here screaming at the edge of the stage? Face it, gonna spend all my time with a case of cheap beer and a box full of wine. I'm drinking all night just to get through the day. Gotta keep my spirits up or I drink them away. You gotta wake up, snooze the alarm. Only 10 more minutes won't do me no harm. I'm hitting red lights and I'm gonna be late for my dead-end job with the people I hate.
There you go. Backyard Superheroes on Pop Punk and Pizza here on BangarangRadio.com. It's from their Let's Get Dangerous EP, which you can find on Bandcamp. And they do have a brand new, they're going to be dropping a new, just a single this week, right? Right, Gary?
Yeah, a single, yep.
And then they're going to be putting out another full-length record in 2017, so make sure you look for that. Yes, Gary Mastriano is currently on the phone with us. He is their saxophone player, and I gotta say, when I first heard Backyard Superheroes, and you shot me that email, and I checked you out on Bandcamp, the first thing that kind of came to mind, like the horns, I don't know, I heard a mix of things. I mean, I did think of Jeffrey's Fan Club a little bit. And obviously, you can hear the East Coast influence, but I feel like it's like a good mix of that East Coast, West Coast, maybe, like the Less Than Jake influence. It's like a blend going on. Yeah,
definitely. We kind of describe ourselves as nerd wave ska, as a little play on third wave ska there. Just kind of passionate about everything we were passionate about, and nerdy into it in that sense, and kind of mix it all into a couple songs there, and it's cool. We have a unique rockin' sound and fun. That's kind of the fun, and energy is kind of the name of the game with our band. Just bring fun, keep it lighthearted, and bring energy. I recommend anyone, if you ever get a chance, to check us out live. Not to pat my own back, but we are just a super fun, energetic live band, and we really put on a killer show. If you come to see Thanksgiving in New Jersey next week, you're probably going to catch me crowd surfing with my saxophone or something crazy like that.
that is awesome, man. And it's funny how you're talking about shows, and I would love to see you guys. And before we started doing the podcast, you were talking about how you guys actually played here in Illinois, in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah, we've been on 2 tours, and that was last summer when we released Let's Get Dangerous. We went on our Let's Get Dangerous tour, and we did end up in Chicago, and it was awesome. That was the only time I've ever been to Chicago, and man, it was great. I ate a lot of hot dogs.
A lot of hot dogs, and of course you guys had some pizza too, and I mean, pizza is also my passion here. Did you get like some true Chicago style pizza while you were here?
I didn't know. I was just eating a ton of hot dogs. We did
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I should say that. We did get some pizza. I didn't eat a lot of it, but I know Chicago is known for their pizza, but out here in Jersey, we know a thing or two about pizza here.
Well, we could argue that for quite a while, because I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm from here, or it might have something to do with it, but I still think Chicago pizza tastes better than East Coast pizza. I've had some good East Coast pizza, I will not lie, because I've been to New York several times. But
I mean, we could both agree that California Pizza Kitchen is not good pizza, because who thinks of California with pizza?
Yeah, we can both. Yeah, that's a good idea. We can both agree on the the West Coast pizza. Yeah, it's no good. So you either got to make it happen in Chicago or in New York for sure. Or somewhere on the East Coast. And Jersey is obviously right next to New York. So how far are you from New York City?
Well, that's the cool thing about Jersey, man. So I live kind of down like at the Jersey Shore. No, it's not like the TV. It's not like a TV show at all. But I live in Red Bank. Do you know like Comic Book Men? You ever watch that show?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I know of the show. Is that where it's shot?
Yeah, I live in the town where they film that. Yeah, Kevin Smith's town where he's from. So all Kevin Smith's movies stuff kind of takes place around here.
Oh, what's the one with Bruce Willis? Cop Out?
Not that one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one of his movies that I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like Mallrats or whatever, but that wasn't a film that he didn't direct that or anything, did he? He just was acting it. Did he? Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like a diehard Kevin Smith fan. I'm sure there's people listening right now that are saying shame on you, but
No, it's all good. That's what's cool about Jersey. To answer the question, is like you're basically an hour away from everything. I'm an hour away from Manhattan. I'm an hour away from Atlantic City. I'm 5 minutes away from the beach, so it's pretty cool. It's a good little spot.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I got a brother who lives in Brooklyn, so that's why I've been to New York so many times. He went to school out there, and he ended up staying out there, and he's actually about to go back to school to get his master's. So I've enjoyed it every single time I've gone to New York City. It's always a great time. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
Oh,
New
okay.
York. I used to work in Manhattan, and it is a great city. Brooklyn's cool.
Yes, I agree, man. So I also wanted to mention that you should check out Gary's podcast. He has a podcast called Outsider's Edge, but it's on a network that he started called B Plus Player Radio. And kind of like what we do here at Bangarang Radio, except sounds like you guys have a bigger staff of shows there. And the cool thing is they're all about wrestling, right?
Yeah, so wrestling and pop culture. We talk to wrestlers, musicians, actors, stand-up comedians, all sorts of people. Usually revolving around wrestling, but wrestling is you can talk about a lot of different things that are all in the wrestling world, movies, music, and everything. A lot of that ties into wrestling sometimes. So we do talk about that. And yeah, the network's B Plus Player Radio. I guarantee there's something on there for you. If you're just interested in podcasts, or we have comedy podcasts, we have film-related podcasts, we have just straight-up wrestling news and stuff, all related. And I host Outsider's Edge, which is the big weekly news show.
That's so cool, man. So yeah, be sure to check out B Plus Player Radio. What are you guys are probably? I know you're on Stitcher. What else are you on?
Yep, Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, all the big ones there.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so be sure to check that out, especially Outsider's Edge. And before we go, we got to do our pop punk picks of the week here.
Pop punk picks of the week.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so I'll start off first. My pop punk pick of the week is a band from Crown Point, Indiana, called Get By, and they're actually going to be on the show next week if you listen to episode 10 of Pop Punk and Pizza. They are another band that just emailed me for a submission, and I really was digging what I heard. Now, they have a show coming up if you're in the Chicagoland area. They're playing the Royal Skate Shop in Lansing on Sunday, November 27th at 5 p.m. Lost Years is also playing. Turn Spit, I believe is how it's pronounced, and there's several other bands playing. It's an all-ages show. So the song I'm going to play for you is called Bitter. So, and if you like this, you can go to getby.bandcamp.com. So yeah, here we go. Bitter. It's by Get By here on Pop Punk and Pizza on bangarangradio.com.
Days feel shorter and our youth has
That's Get By with Bitter here on Pop Punk and Pizza on bangarangradio.com. That is my Pop Punk pick of the week. And as I said, they will be the special guests on Pop Punk and Pizza next week. If you like what you hear, you can buy their EP at getby.bandcamp.com. Now, Gary, what's your pick of the week?
Yeah, like I said to you earlier, this was really tough to pick a song of the week. I think we talked about a few different songs that I was into, but I picked a band from California called Hooray for Our Side, and the song Find Your Sound. And the reason I picked this song was because it's just a really upbeat, great sounding song. But I did want to let everybody know there's like tons of ska bands out there that are just doing their thing and flying under the radar, just like Backyard Superheroes, who are all putting out great music. And this is one of them. You know, they're from California, kind of ska mecca out there, same place as like Real Big Fish, Suburban Legend, State Fair, same area, but hard-working band. We've never played with them. I've never met them or talked to them or anything, but I love the song, so I wanted to play it.
Find Your Sound by Hooray for Our Side here on Pop Punk and Pizza on bangarangradio.com. That is Gary Mastriano's pick of the week. And we've been saying, he's in a band called Backyard Superheroes, which you should check out from Jersey. And if you are in the Jersey area, they got a big show coming up this Saturday, the 19th, at Starland Ballroom. Skanksgiving, Less Than Jake, Mustard Plug, so many more bands playing. And it is, well, I guess, what am I saying? It's sold out. You can't really get in, right?
No, it's completely sold out, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Congratulations for always getting on that show. How long have they been doing that now?
So they've been doing that since I was young. I remember going to Skanksgiving. It kind of spun off from the Ska's Dead tour. I don't know if you ever remember that tour.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. it spun off from that. The Ska's Dead tour used to always come up to Jersey and do Thanksgiving. And then when that tour ended, they kind of kept doing it at Starland Ballroom. And we've been on it 3 or 4 years now.
Right, because you guys started about 4 years ago, right?
Yeah. I should know that, but I don't. It's not bad with dates.
But I'm really glad that your pick of the week was "Hooray for Our Side" because I've never heard of them, and I absolutely love that song. So I'm going to be checking them out. Awesome. And I'm once again I'm grateful for you sending me that email because I've been dying to find more ska bands that I've never heard of, find the newer ones. Obviously, I listen to the ones that have been around for years now, Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish, etc. But it's great to come across some new ska bands and think, hey, ska is not dead. It's continuing, and there's some amazing bands out there. So I got to thank you for that.
Yeah, there's so many great ska bands out there. And what's cool about ska is it's a genre that can kind of fit into anything. There's ska core if you like a little bit harder metal. There's traditional if you like a little bit more jazzy. Ska punk or two-tone. There's just so much, and I love all of it. But I recommend it. It's fun music, and I've been into it for forever.
Yeah, me too, man. Ever since I was a little kid. I'm 26 now, and I'm still hooked as I was when I was, 10 or 8 or whenever it was. It was somewhere around there. Between 8 and 10 years old is when I started to get hooked on ska and punk. So, but Gary Mastriano from Backyard Superheroes, man, thank you so much for coming on to the show. And I want to have you guys back on when you're ready to promote your full length and that sort of thing. So,
hey, thanks so much for having me. It was great.
And Gary, happy house hunting.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, dude.
Once again, just one last big thank you to Gary Mastriano, the saxophone player of Backyard Superheroes, for coming on here to Pop Punk and Pizza and talking ska music with us. And that was great. And hearing a brand new ska band, like I was telling him, I'm always looking for new ska music. So thank you for that. Just one last plug, please, if you could. Follow Pop Punk and Pizza on all our social media sites. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitter at Pop Punk and Pizza Pod. You can follow us on Instagram as well, Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast. Find us on Facebook, also the Bangarang Radio social media sites as well. You can find us on Facebook, also on Twitter at Bangarang Radio. And if you want to follow my Twitter account, it's at On Air with JJ. And we'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on here at the Bangarang Radio Podcast Network, but also for Pop Punk and Pizza. Like our other shows on Bangarang Radio, Creep Show Horror Club podcast, which is put on by two awesome Chicago brothers. Happy to have them, Gary and Mark Weissman. Wonderful, wonderful guys. I'm really happy to have them a part of Bangarang Radio. So if you're a big horror fan and you like crime stories and murder and all that fun stuff, Creep Show Horror Club podcast is right up your alley. I'm Jacques Lamour. Have a fantastic week. I will be back next Tuesday. And we will be visiting with Get By from Crown Point, Indiana. That episode will be coming out on November 22nd. Have a wonderful week, and thank you again.
Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.